Awakened soul, this message reaches you at a crucial moment in your journey. What I'm about to share carries profound significance. It's more than simple words on a screen. Consider this a spiritual awakening call, resonating through every aspect of your existence. We're exploring something far deeper than the name printed on your documents. We're talking about the sacred imprint that the divine placed within your soul long before your first breath. You were intentionally designed, purposefully crafted, and spiritually encoded by forces beyond human understanding. Nothing about your existence happened by chance or random luck. Your true essence, your spiritual fingerprint, carries its own frequency, its own voice, its own sacred purpose. This goes beyond surface-level identity. This concerns the profound truth that reality itself recognizes when you enter a space. The divine wants you to understand what's been woven into your very being. Because we've arrived at a critical moment, what remains unknown to you could cost you opportunities you've waited lifetimes to receive. Before this window closes, you must wake up to the magnificence hidden within your spiritual DNA. Stay with me through this entire message because something within you will recognize a truth that's been calling to you for years. Drop a comment sharing your deepest intentions and the numbers 99 to activate universal energy. When you release your desires with genuine faith, the cosmos aligns to create miraculous outcomes. Your written words become powerful declarations, and declarations transform into magnetic forces. This marks your chapter of bringing dreams into reality, where sleeping visions suddenly spring to life, and whispered hopes become celebrated victories. Press the notification bell and subscribe to this channel so you never miss these transmissions. Now let's dive deeper. You entered this world carrying something invisible to ordinary perception. Only those spiritually attuned can sense it. This element of your being cannot be counterfeited, duplicated, taken from you, or erased. You won't find it on government identification or travel documents. It doesn't appear in your online profiles or any earthly database. Your authentic essence is cosmic in nature. It's encoded with purpose and designed for divine timing. Before you drew your first breath, the divine already inscribed this signature into your soul. While life has attempted to bury it beneath pain, distractions, and uncertainty, your true essence has never stopped radiating in spiritual dimensions. It speaks with greater volume than your physical voice and commands more influence than your professional accomplishments. Countless people wander through life wearing false identities, living stories never meant for them, reacting from old wounds instead of responding to their calling. But you're different, awakened soul. You weren't sent here to disappear into the background. You came to shatter old patterns and birth new possibilities. For this transformation to occur, you must fully reclaim your authentic essence. Not just in belief, but in action and embodiment. The divine didn't allow you to survive every challenge, every betrayal, every heartbreak, and every obstacle just to live as an unknown entity in a world desperately needing your unique light. Your spiritual essence is how heaven recognizes you, how blessings locate you, and how closed doors know they must swing open in your presence. It's not merely who you are, it's what you carry within. You've probably sensed the transformation lately. That feeling that something significant is aligning behind the curtain of the visible world, that others are beginning to detect something different about your energy. This isn't arrogance, it's evidence manifesting. Your spiritual essence is starting to activate publicly what was once sealed in private preparation. Every delay, every season of isolation, every rejection was never designed to punish you. These experiences protected the integrity of what the divine planted inside you. You are not running late. You have not been forgotten. You were simply being authenticated by the highest authority before being unveiled to the world. That moment has now arrived. You're entering a realm where your spiritual essence is required to unlock what comes next. This explains why false versions of yourself won't function anymore. Making yourself smaller to comfort others will only postpone your emergence. Diminishing your light to escape criticism will begin. feeling like you're suffocating, because the divine code within you is too powerful to remain muted. The gates opening before you can only recognize the authentic you, not the masked version you showed the world, not the humble imposter you became to fit in, not the survival identity you constructed to cope with difficulty, but the genuine, radiant, divinely signed version of who you truly are. Have you noticed how your spirit can no longer tolerate spaces that ignore your true nature? How shallow conversations now drain your energy? How routines lacking purpose feel like betraying your own soul? This isn't exhaustion, it's a spiritual alarm system. Your essence is waking you up to the reality that you were never created to live under labels others assign to you. You were created to live under the authority the divine encoded into your being. What's approaching is not for who you used to be, it's for the real you, the version heaven knows intimately, the version spiritual forces recognize, the version carrying the frequency of divine alignment. You didn't journey this far to face denial now. That won't happen. But here's the key. You must walk confidently as the person you were always meant to be. Stop questioning what the divine has already confirmed within you. Stop attempting to be ordinary when you were born to be transformative. Your divine essence has no duplicate anywhere in creation. There's a reason opposing forces work tirelessly to confuse you about who you really are. If you ever discovered your true identity, if you ever aligned completely with what you carry inside, you would become an unstoppable force. You would become dangerous to the limiting patterns that held your ancestral line back. You would awaken a frequency that's been dormant for generations. Yet here you are, remembering, awakening, ascending. Your spiritual memory is reactivating itself. You're beginning to feel a strength that doesn't originate from this physical world. That's your essence coming alive within you. And understand this clearly. The moment you step fully into your divine nature, everything around you will shift. Resources will find you. People will recognize something special. Systems will respond to your presence, because heaven moves on behalf of those who operate in the authority of their true essence. This isn't about being prideful. It's about alignment with truth. It's about finally perceiving yourself the way the divine has always perceived you. You are not random. You are not an accident. You are not defined by what others called you in moments of ignorance. You are a signature of the divine itself. Even during your broken seasons, the essence remained intact. Even when you felt lost and confused, the essence remained. Even when you questioned your value, the essence remained untouched. Now, because you've chosen to rise, to return to yourself, to realign with truth, your essence will open doors for you that your credentials never could. It will whisper your name to the winds of destiny. It will demolish barriers that were cemented in fear. It will command prosperity, favor, love, and opportunities that once felt impossibly distant. Don't be shocked when your presence begins unlocking blessings for others around you. Your essence carries codes that don't just bless your life. They activate those in your sphere of influence. You are a living access point for miraculous events. People will start asking how and why everything is transforming for you so rapidly. They won't understand that what's changing isn't the external world, it's you. Because you are transforming internally, the external world must follow suit. This is your identity season. This is your unveiling hour. This is the chapter where the authentic you walks into the prophecy you've carried since the beginning, and awakened soul. It's going to exceed even your grandest imagination. What you're stepping into now transcends just a new phase. It's a return to the truest version of yourself that the divine authored before you ever experienced confusion, delays, or disappointments. You may not have understood it then, but all your struggles were directly connected to your spiritual essence. Not because you were cursed, but because you were chosen for something greater. You carried something divine long before you recognized its power. That sacred assignment within you triggered resistance from forces that didn't want your light to remember its brilliance. Now here you stand, positioned at the edge of a massive revelation, not of a new version of you, but the original design, the one the universe has been waiting to witness. the one the divine has preserved and protected even when you lacked words to explain your own magnificence. The moment you align with this truth, everything that once felt impossible will begin responding to your presence. The authority that accompanies spiritual awakening cannot be faked and cannot be denied. You're not climbing anymore to prove your worth. You're ascending because the altitude matches your divine frequency naturally. When your spiritual essence is revealed, the world won't just observe your actions. They'll begin feeling your presence before you speak. There will be an atmosphere surrounding you that shifts rooms before you utter a word. There will be clarity in your movements, magnetism in your silence, and power in your stillness. Why? Because the divine's imprint is alive in everything you do. You didn't earn this through hard work or merit. It was placed within you by divine selection before time began. The pain you experienced was the cost of protection during your preparation. The silence you endured was a shield of consecration. The delays you encountered were divine, disguises meant to keep you hidden until you grew strong enough to carry your real identity openly. For so long, you believed the struggle was against people, systems, or lack of opportunity. Now it becomes crystal clear. The true resistance was always about delaying your realization of who you really are, because once you remember your spiritual essence, you no longer chase what you were designed to attract naturally. You no longer negotiate your value in spaces lacking the capacity to see you. You no longer debate with those who can't interpret the divine signature in your soul. Your spiritual essence is a signal broadcasting to higher dimensions. It alerts heaven when you're ready for the next level. It informs destiny that the vessel is now fully aligned. It notifies angelic assignments that the timing has been confirmed. That's why this season feels more electric than previous ones. That's why your inner world feels so full, even when your outer world is still catching up, because your identity is no longer sleeping. It is standing tall, stepping forward, about to speak with absolute clarity. There are places you're about to enter that aren't waiting on your qualifications. They're waiting on your energy signature. Your energy has shifted because your essence is no longer operating in silence. It's becoming louder with every passing day, bolder in your interactions, more visible in your radiance, your presence, your alignment. Don't be surprised when things begin accelerating in unexpected ways. This isn't randomness, it's recognition. The world is catching up to what heaven has always known about you. While others will try understanding your rise through logic, it will never make sense to their limited perspective. Your essence isn't sourced from earth. It's sourced from the throne room of divine origin. Your rise is not calculated by human standards. It's confirmed by divine decree. When something is confirmed by the divine, no human system can block its manifestation. This explains why favor finds you in unlikely places, why doors open without logical explanation, why strangers become vessels of provision. Your essence has activated divine coordinates that earthly logic cannot trace or understand. You've likely started feeling how your spirit outgrows old patterns faster now. What used to comfort you now restricts you. What used to excite you now feels empty and hollow. That's your essence shedding layers that no longer match your vibration. It's not that you're becoming someone new. It's that the divine you is finally being revealed. The version never touched by fear, never shaped by trauma, never limited by scarcity thinking. This is the version that remembers its origin. This is the version that reigns with natural authority. Don't be surprised when people from your past no longer recognize you. That version they knew was never the real one. It was the version you constructed to survive. Environments that weren't designed for your true identity. But survival is no longer your assignment. Dominion is, flow is, divine orchestration is. Now that your essence has come into the light, you're about to witness how perfectly everything starts arranging itself around your presence. The universe always bends toward truth, and your essence is truth in its purest form. The whispers of intuition you've been receiving lately, that's not imagination or wishful thinking. That's your internal guidance system aligning with the divine code inside you. The synchronicities stacking around you, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's the universe echoing your identity across time and space dimensions. The divine is highlighting your path in ways that even your critics will have to acknowledge. You were never overlooked or forgotten. You were hidden strategically for protection and preparation. Now the divine clock has struck the hour of revelation. There is a divine urgency in this moment, not because you're behind schedule, but because you're precisely on time. The events surrounding you are not random occurrences. They are orchestrated signals for you to step deeper into your true identity. Your gifts are sharpening. Your insights are deepening. Your awareness is expanding beyond previous limitations. You are becoming impossible to miss for every opportunity heaven has authored with your name written on it. Yes, it may feel like you're losing the old version of your life in this transition, but what's really happening is you're shedding the false layers that kept your true identity locked in delay. The more you accept your spiritual essence, the more your future becomes unrecognizable in the most beautiful way. This is not the death of a dream, it's the resurrection of the dreamer. When the dreamer awakens with full remembrance of who they are, the world becomes their canvas and their voice becomes divine sound. What the divine is doing in your life now doesn't require explanation to others. It requires embodiment from you. The moment you stop explaining and start expressing, your essence will begin unlocking what logic could never access. People will feel the shift before they understand it intellectually. Systems will make way before they comprehend why. Your future will bow to the authority of your presence, not because you're loud or demanding, but because your essence speaks in the language of destiny. This is your hour, not to prove anything, but to become everything. Not to explain yourself, but to embody yourself. Not to fit in, but to expand. The world is not waiting for another personality. It's waiting for your authentic identity, unfiltered, unmuted, unstoppable. When you show up as that version, miracles won't be surprises. They'll be sequences, natural progressions, because when the divine breathes into someone's essence, even time must realign itself to fit the prophecy. There is a shift occurring within you right now that cannot be reversed or undone. It's not just mental awareness, it's spiritual ignition. It's as if a vault within your soul has finally opened. What's rising to the surface is not new, it's eternal, ancient, untouched by fear, unaffected by others' opinions. This is the original design, that the divine embedded in you before time existed as a concept. Your essence is not bound by years or measured by degrees or performance metrics. It is measured by how closely you align with what the divine already sees when looking at you. And what the divine sees is absolutely astonishing. This explains why certain places no longer feel safe or comfortable, why certain people no longer feel familiar, why certain opportunities that once looked golden now seem empty and meaningless. Your essence is no longer letting you settle for survival when you were designed for sovereignty and abundance. This is what happens when you stop shrinking to be palatable, when you stop dimming your light to avoid attention, when you stop pretending that what you carry isn't valuable beyond measure. The divine is not interested in keeping you invisible anymore. You've paid your dues in silence. You've honored your process in humility. You've endured long enough with hidden brilliance that the world wasn't ready to witness. Now that brilliance is being summoned, not just to shine, but to lead. Leading doesn't mean controlling others. It means being so deeply aligned with your identity that your very presence liberates those around you. Being so rooted in divine truth that you don't need permission to stand in your light. Being so connected to the divine that your name becomes a vibration that opens gates. There's a frequency in your life that is rising higher by the day. You can feel it in the way your thoughts have changed, in the way your language has shifted, in the way your body reacts to low-frequency environments. You're not just healing, you're ascending. You're not just evolving, you're being revealed to the world. This is the season where your hidden identity becomes your open authority. This is the season where your silent confirmations become public manifestations. No more blending in to avoid being misunderstood. No more apologizing for carrying what others can't yet see or comprehend. You were chosen to carry this essence, because the divine knew you wouldn't abandon it even when it felt unbearable. That awakened soul is why your reward will not be average or ordinary. You endured circumstances that should have broken others, but they only refined you like gold in fire. Your identity was built in the flames, not in the applause of crowds. That's the reason you were overlooked in the past. The reason you were isolated during crucial seasons. The reason you never quite fit the molds others wanted to squeeze you into. You were never meant to fit those molds, because your identity was forged in divine originality. It's not a replica, it's not a copy, it's a once-in-existence blueprint. There is no template for your journey because the divine made sure you were an unrepeatable expression of light. That's why conventional rules don't seem to apply to you. Why your timing doesn't match anyone else's timeline. Why doors open for you in ways that defy logical explanation. Your spiritual essence comes with divine permissions. Those permissions are now activating in your life. You'll begin feeling it in the way conversations shift when you speak, in the way opportunities approach you, in the way your energy draws in people, moments, and resources that match your elevation. This is not wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It is divine unfolding happening in real time. You are living inside the divine's instruction manual now. That instruction is clear. Reveal the identity. Show up fully. Stop hiding behind false humility when it's time to walk in your inheritance. You were born for visibility, for impact, for resonance. It's not just about being seen. It's about being recognized for what you truly carry. Your identity carries codes that all of creation is responding to. You'll begin noticing how time bends for you now. How things that once took years begin happening in days. Not because you forced it, but because your alignment created a gravitational pull that heaven cannot ignore. The moment you walk in your true identity, you become a match for miracles. Not by begging or asking, but by being. You were never meant to beg for what already belongs to you. You were meant to claim it, not with arrogance, but with spiritual clarity. The realm you're stepping into now is only accessible by those who carry the authority of their real name, not the name given by culture or society, not the role given by survival mode, but the name the divine whispered over you in the beginning. That name is your key, and that key opens everything. Awakened soul, this awakening you're experiencing is not temporary or fleeting. It's not hype or excitement that will fade. It's the beginning of a new timeline, one where you no longer borrow energy from others to feel alive, one where you no longer wait for permission to exist boldly, one where you are no longer threatened by the greatness within you, because now you know you are not here to fit in. You are here to be identified and recognized, and the world has no choice but to respond. There will be moments where your rise confuses people who were comfortable with your smallness. Let them be confused. There will be moments where people distance themselves from your energy because it challenges their comfort zones. Let them go freely. You are no longer responsible for making others feel safe in your light. You are responsible for honoring the truth that the divine planted inside you. If that truth makes the earth tremble, so be it. This is not your downfall, it's your deliverance. You're being delivered from all the labels that no longer hold weight. Delivered from false responsibilities that delayed your flow. Delivered from agreements you made while still wearing survival identities. Because now your essence has taken the lead. It's speaking through you, moving through you, elevating you beyond previous limitations. You don't have to fight to prove anything to anyone. All you need to do is remain in alignment with your truth. The divine is the architect. Your identity is the key, and the time is now. Everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment. Every tear, every triumph, every test has refined you into the person who can carry this revelation. You are ready. You are worthy. You are chosen. Step fully into who you were always meant to be, and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your divine essence. Your time has come, awakened soul. Embrace it fully.